Hey guys, how you doing? This is Manga etc. and I'm here today to bring you the review for LOH Manga Chapter 1. So the chapter starts off with Serene making her way home from school. So 1 point to me because last chapter we see her going to school, but it's never outright stated that she's going to school. So I just made the guess that she was going to school and it turns out I was right. So 1 point to me. But anyway, as she was on her way home, she's just talking to herself and she mentions that how she fell asleep in class and she's worried about that because she feels that the school is going to call her dad. And now, when that was mentioned, the first thing I realized is that she only mentions her dad, so meaning mum is not around now. This could be for many of reasons, from a nice, simple, easy reason of her just going being away for work or just another purpose, or could be something really drastic to her being dead. There's loads of things that can fit in between that, but it is something I noticed really on in the chapter. Is the mum going to appear again in the manga? Probably too early to tell, but it is something that I noticed rather early. So after that, Serene sees the hero coincidentally on her way home. And now, the first thing I want to mention is that Serene sees the hero within the alley. She doesn't want him to see her, so she does the whole sneaky kind of hiding thing. When she looks back, the hero is disappeared from the back alley, and so she goes down the back alley, and then she finds this diamond that this hero guy is looking for. Now, how did he miss it? How did he honestly miss the diamond? It was right there under the dumpster. How did he miss it? Kind of vibe going on there. And another question that comes to my mind is, where exactly does he disappear to? Because he disappears from the back alley and then he's back again not too long after, with no real indication of where he's coming or going from. And that's just something that I noticed earlier on. So moving on from there, Serene's found the diamond now, and some thugs come down the alleyway looking to mess with Serene. I'm gonna say mess, keep this as kid friendly as I can, even though I'm probably gonna mention the word later on because I think it does need to be mentioned. But during this time, Serene feels like that these thugs are after the diamond, so she hides the diamond and she's like, "You're not getting this diamond." And then the thugs could say, "What diamond did you get? Did you guys see a diamond?" But no, I didn't see no diamond. You know what she's talking about? And then, so after that, it came to mind. Okay, so this diamond is from another world. Maybe you have to be from the same world to see the diamond. And so after I thought that, then I thought to myself, okay, if that is true, how come Serene can see the diamond? And that's when it dawned on me, maybe Serene's mum was originally from this other world, Hyrokoyo, that we're going to go to later on in the series, I'm guessing. So maybe Serene's mum is from there, and that's why she can see the mum. And if the mum is still alive, maybe she's presently in Hyrokoyo, and that's why she's not around presently. That's the first thing I thought when I saw the diamond. So the frogs are there. They, just the toying with her, and I say toying was it's a bit more serious in that, and that's when the hero come back onto the scene, and that's when we get the first fight within the series. And now, being a guy who's invested in a lot of shonen, a lot of One Piece, Naruto, My Hero Academia, such and such and such, I'm used to fights with, key blast, quirks, devil fruit powers, and all that madness. So when we got a realistic, down to earth fight, I did find it boring, but that's not that's not the manga's fault. It's not the mangaka's fault either. It's just the time and place that we are within the series. I guess things could hype up even more when we go into this other world, but just to have a fight with no powers and all that, and just so realistic, I did find it kind of boring to read. But that fight happens now. The thugs realize there's no point in all this. It's like, we'll catch you next time kind of vibe, and they run off. And so they run off now. And then we have a moment within the chapter where Serene is talking to her hero, and she tells him, I found a diamond, but I'm not giving it to you until you tell me your name. And that's where we go into this whole thing of my name is, and then the break of the silence. So we're keeping the name away from the audience, kind of vibe going on there. But that's when these thugs come back again with more numbers, and then we lead on to a second fight. And now there's a couple of points that I want to mention that I realized during this time. So the first thing that I realized is that our so-called hero, which I'm going to start calling him now, has restraints on his hands. Now, this could be a fashion statement in the other world, but for me, having restraints on your hands means that you was locked up at one point. Being locked up at one point means that you may not be 100% evil, but you did something wrong to be locked up. So I'm starting to think that our hero is not the hero. And just to support this even further, I noticed that on the cover, when we have the two images, I noticed on the cover of the book, we got the guy that we've seen in real life and the guy that we see in Serene's dreams. The guy in Serene's dreams can be called the hero. If you look at the two guys, the guy who we see in real life, he has a different hairstyle. Fair enough, people can change their hairstyle to and fro. I do all the time. But if you look at the length of the guy's hair, the guy who we see in real life has shoulder length hair. The guy of Serene's dreams has longer hair, longer than shoulder length. I don't know how long it is, but it is definitely longer than shoulder length. So it's leading me to think that these two people are different people. But a counter argument to that can be that when we get to the point of the series which covers the dream, it might be years down the line, so that gives this guy time to grow out his hair. Okay, moving on, I'm going to just mention that this second fight, before that I was thinking, oh okay, so if there is going to be fights within this series, there's not going to be no blood. But this second fight took a real turn for the bloody. Now, most of the fight is off screen, but we do see that first initial kick from the hero, and he does some damage to the guy's arm, and you see blood splattering out, and that just made me think, okay, this is not really the actions of a hero. And I'm just thinking of heroes down the line. I'm like, okay, we have Superman, we have All Might, and I was just trying to think of heroes, and I was just trying to think of just how they deal with villains, especially the ones who either don't have superpowers, but I guess in the case of this series, we could say who are not from a magical world. Right now, this guy is dealing with normal human beings, but he's treating them like they're from his world. He's treating them like they can take like a high level of pain. And to support this villainous traits that I've started to notice within him more seriously is the way that he talks. At one point within this chapter, he says, "I'm going to rip your throats out," or something along the lines. I never heard no hero talk like that. No, no. Now that I see that as a bit villainous. I see that as an evil streaks lurking within him. But I could also understand if he's just defensive of Serene, and that would go with my whole point of how I thought he was lying last chapter when he said that he hadn't met her before. Maybe they have made trouble before, but she doesn't remember, and they are actually quite close, and that leads to why he's so and leads to why close also why that leads to why he's so defensive of her. But that's not hero talk. That's definitely not hero talk. So while he's fighting with all these thugs again, he does toss her into run for it. So she runs for it. She gets past the thugs, and then I don't know. She turns a corner, and then it's when she turns the corner, she's starting to have doubts. She's like, but I don't want to lose him. I want to save him this time. And we see her have a moment of breaking down, of deciding what to do, and then we end off the chapter with the introduction of two mystery characters who mentioned that how the winds of they mentioned the winds of fate, and to me, to my understanding, is what I think this means is that Serene, because I do think at some point within the series, Serene is going to change her dream. So I think like her contemplating what to do at this moment is the start of the future changing. And that's everything's happened within the chapter. So the last thing that I'm going to mention is the whole topic of rape, because essentially the thugs within this chapter did want to rape Serene. At first, it was just subtly hinted at by the actions. You know, we see them trying to take off her clothes and all that. But as the chapter goes on, it's actually the word rape or raped or rape or even both was mentioned, and that made me think, yo, okay, so what age group is this manga for? And also there was the violence as well, where we saw the arm being crushed. Oh, then that's kind of not that, well, to me anyway, it's not that bad. I've seen worse in other series, but it was just that whole thing with the rape, especially made me think, yo, what age is this manga for? And if we're covering things like rape, would there be other dark topics? And yeah, would there be other dark topics? I was going to say realistic, because I can't think of the anime that I've watched that's covered rape. So yeah, it just made me think what other kind of topics will be covered as things go on. So I'm two chapters in now, you know, prologue and chapter one, and I still really don't know what the series is about. I know that this dream plays an important factor, but other than that, I really don't understand what the series is about now. But I'm still intrigued, somewhat interested to see where it's leading. And for those reasons, I'll give it a 3-star rating and call it a review. Like always, guys, I'm asking for your thoughts and opinions. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. But most importantly, take care. Have a nice day.